of here you are under a massive highway, so you can probably hear a little bit of the traffic overhead, but at the same time, the space is so beautiful. It sounds like a contradiction, but it's not.
We come to conversations about safety in the outdoors and how different groups experience the outdoors. When you think about safety, it didn't just come from topics of or incidents from modern day. We think about safety for the people who were here before, the people who have who have led the way coming up, and how they experience the outdoors and were able to do so either safely or the challenges that they had to overcome about feeling safe in the outdoor spaces.
Right. And for a lot of Black people, safety in the outdoors, in terms of outdoor recreation, sometimes it's about fear of animals, the bears, the bugs, and what do you wear? Key considerations. But the other kind of safety for Black people, though, it's the safety from violence, from race-based violence. There's always a sense that if you're Black and you're in the wilderness, if you're Black and in the city, there are lots of witnesses. Anything happens, there are lots of people around who look like you. When you're out in the wilderness, when you're out in the ravines, there are less of us there. One of the reasons we don't go up to the cottage is because where are our witnesses?
We're outnumbered,
we're outnumbered. And so for us, the outdoor doesn't automatically bring the idea of, wow, this is a great place, this is nature, this is relaxing.
Unless you're me, because I just don't give a rat's behind, and I will go anywhere. I often mention that, for me, I need to think more about my safety when I enter certain spaces, because for myself, I go into the outdoors and my first thought is, where's the next fish? My head, the space in nature takes over that conversation of my fear, and it becomes like, why am I not thinking about this? Why am I not even concerned? Where, when I enter certain spaces in the city itself, and I am the only person on a trail, there's a certain fear that overtakes me in a city space versus being away from in the city.
Yeah, I think both of us were outdoor folks, so we are comfortable in the outdoors. I was in Brantford a couple of weeks ago chasing Black history and walking along the riverfront, the Grand River, because again, that was a main river in terms of Indigenous history, in terms of the fur trade. It's a Canadian heritage river. I've never been there before, and it did not once occur to me that, Jacqueline, you're wandering along the waterfront in a city that you've never been before. You're following the trail that you're not really sure about. And it's like, yeah, but it's nature. I'm cool.
Yeah.
And on that particular day, I happened to be by myself. And in those instances, I do what I always do, but this time with a little bit more intentionality, as in say hi to everybody who you see on the trail.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're going to remember, oh yeah, there was a Black woman with dreadlocks. She was by herself and she said hi.
Yeah.
Anything happens, there's a trail, there's almost like a bread trail crumbs of people who the Black woman says hi to. Because of course I was the only one on the trail.
But it also goes back to when you speak of safety and safety in exploring, we think of safety in numbers. And safety in numbers becomes a threat when you're Black.
Yes, very much so. I've heard more than enough anecdotes of, especially for Black youth, Black male youth, you want to go into ravines, you want to chill. The trails are there, it's close to where you live, but inevitably somebody's going to call the police.
Yeah.
So your very presence in the woods, and these are ravines that you get to by local transit, by TTC, but there's something about the Black presence. And I'm back in school. Part of my research is looking at black people in outdoor recreation, i.e. how to make outdoor recreation more comfortable for Black people. And where my research is taking me, that in terms of safety, and the over-policing of Black people, the roots of that goes back to surprise, slavery.
Oh no, to slavery?
Yeah.
I would have never thought.
Exactly. And a huge part of slavery is that if you're outdoors, you're meant to be working.
Yeah.
If you're not working, you're up to no good.
Yeah.
And if you're up to no good, you're plotting yet another slave rebellion, uprising.
Yeah.
And that kind of thinking, slavery has been done and over for over 200 years, but that kind of thinking is what permeates the policing of black bodies.
Yeah.
It's the sense that black people are supposed to be contained.
Yes. Yes.
The moment you're free, you're in the open. If you're not working, you're up to no good.
And the moment you are gathered in more than one, where more than one are gathered, it becomes an issue, and that kind of makes it hard for people who don't know the outdoors to get into the outdoors in their family groups, in their friend groups, and establishing social circles for schooling. You as a student going about your business at school, it's harder for you to establish like a friends group where you can go on the lawn of a school and sit down in a group without the fear of someone thinking that you're going to instigate something or you're causing a ruckus.
Yes, and that's always the issue. And other people of color groups have other issues, but when it comes to being black, our skin color automatically slots us into a category in the white imagination, and that category is up to no good, uprisings, and all of those roots are rooted in slavery and its aftermath.
Yeah.
And so some of my research is looking at what Saidiya Hartman calls the afterlife of slavery, or what Christina Sharp calls living in the wake.
Yeah.
I.e., the institution is done, the shackles are gone, but yet still those very institution is what shaped black lives.
Yeah, it's funny to me though, because when we think about the shackled mentality and the shackled reflections of what slavery caused, I see black people moving, towards freeing their mental spaces from the shackles that were there. But
what did Bob Marley say? What did Bob Marley say? Emancipate
yourself
from
from mental slavery.
Not that ourselves can free our mind.
These things, these constant reminders that we get when we're in spaces that we're not supposed to be here, we're not supposed to be doing this. It's a constant reminder that, we are not, when you say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, you're not the only one trying to keep yourself enslaved. The mental thought, other people thinking about it and how they can restrict your movement, restrict your sense of belonging, that's them contributing to you as an individual still feeling enslaved in a certain way.
Yes.
So it's like, how do we broach these massive topics and these massive conversations in spaces that we want to be? You sitting here on the Bentway, me sitting here on the Bentway having a conversation, and just be able to feel free and safe and gathering here. If we had 50 people behind us, I'm sure it wouldn't be the same thing. I'm sure you would probably see a few blue uniforms pop up, or certain.
Yes, yeah. It's almost automatically. You see a crowd of black people, you want to turn your head, and it's like, okay, where's the police? You shouldn't have to do that, but it becomes automatic that somebody, you just have that sense of, okay, I can't fully relax.
Yeah.
But part of the work that we're doing, it's about reclaiming the outdoors as a black space. On Turtle Island, we shared a space, and when I started my schoolwork, I just wanted to hike because I love being outdoors. It's nature, and nature makes me happy. It's the place where I feel most alive.
Yeah,
nature is good. So I wanted to hike across Canada, and then the more I started getting into it, the more it's like, okay, so why am I usually the only black person?
Yeah.
I'm so used to my family.
Don't worry, you're not the only one who asks why you're the only black person on the trail. There's a whole group of us out here asking ourselves that same question.
But we're finding each other through social media.
Yep.
And what's the guy? He talks about turning segregation into congregation.
I can't remember his name right now, but I know
how racism works.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing is taking the segregation, i.e. feeling that you're the only black one yet again, whether it's fishing or hiking or canoeing. That's the segregation, yes, in Canada, and we're turning that into congregation on social media. We're using hashtags like Black Outdoors, Black in Nature, and to find each other so and to connect. Funny. And that's how we met, by the way.
Because it was funny though, because
really a conversation
so
about
that means
race.
You're joining me ice fishing, Jacqueline? Is that what they're saying? Is that means you're going to come ice fishing with me?
Okay, I already do the skiing and the snowshoeing. Okay, I will try ice fishing. Okay, I love outdoors. There are some things that
It's just
Okay, can I add some rum to my spice tea?
oh, also you thought I went fishing just to fish and ice fishing? Okay, guys.
Okay,
Well, you know what? It's been a pleasure chatting with you again, Jacqueline, as always. And it's whether or not we're serious about it, whether or not we're having fun, again, our joy is resistance, and us being out here in these spaces and being joyful is walking on the language that Black people don't belong here. We're treading heavily. We're not treading lightly. We're treading heavily on that language, stomping over it, making our footprints, leaving our footprints there to say Black people do belong, and we will be in these spaces, whether it's the Bentway, Fort York, Algonquin Park, Frontenac Park. Black people are out here. Killbear, whichever provincial or provincial, national park,
Rouge Park.
we're there.
We're there, and we're not going to stop.
No,
we're
we're
going to
gonna be
keep
there.
going because nature is beautiful. Nature is calming. We need nature. We are part of nature.
It's just going to be more of us. And
More of us.
like Bob Marley said, them I got tired for so face.
Yes!
That's it.